Do not buy this fake PSP, or should I say MP5. I've been watching some videos of these fake PSPs that I saw online, and they seem kind of interesting. They were little emulators you could like play retro games on, like the original Mario, Game Boy, and anything you could imagine before the PlayStation 1. And I thought they were pretty interesting. My original PSP I tried to jailbreak it to do the same exact thing, but I ended up bricking it. So now whenever I turn it on, it just shows the light for a couple seconds and then shuts off. I was not able to fix it. I still have it though, so if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. And I've been seeing these on Amazon for about $30 plus shipping, and that didn't seem too bad, but I wasn't willing to pay that for something that just might be a total piece of garbage. Oh boy. So I was looking on eBay and I found one for about $13, but with shipping it ended up being $30, so I really did not get a better deal. And this one's used, and it didn't come with a charger. It did include the crappy earbuds, but those ended up in the garbage pretty quickly. So let's take a closer look at this thing. So here we have the Start Select. It's not really select though, because it brings you to the menu. Volume up and down, the PlayStation symbol buttons, shoulder button. Here we have the so-called power switch. We'll get to that in a bit. Over here we have the D-pad and light, and the joystick that's basically just a D-pad. It's alright for driving games and stuff, but it spins, so that really sucks. On the bottom we have a micro SD card slot. On the top we have a microphone, a headphone jack, the charging and syncing port, AV out, and the camera. Yes, it has a camera. The AV out and the headphone jack basically are the same thing. You can listen with your headphones on the AV out and vice versa. And actually, the headphone jack works better as an AV out. It gives a clearer picture for whatever reason. And over here we have a speaker. Okay, so to turn it on, they say you should hold down the start button. But that doesn't do anything. Okay, so you need to flip the power switch. It still doesn't do anything. Well, you have to flip the power switch, then hold the start button. And then we get a fighting game. You probably know what that is. I have no clue. Then we get a car. And then we get the main screen. And then it says card in every time you turn it on. Okay, so here's a list of randomly selected games to have on the home screen. You unfortunately cannot customize this in any way. You can change the wallpaper though, and I set that as the Windows Vista wallpaper because it's a good wallpaper and it looks nice on here, I guess. But on the bottom we have Game Center. Then we have music, something, cinema, camera, record, tool, browser, and setting. There's more than one setting though. So here's in the settings app. And as you can see, they definitely stolen a lot from iOS 4 and 5 era with the bubble wallpaper and the settings icon. There's a random search thing there that doesn't do anything. It's just part of the wallpaper. So effect settings, that's to change the animation. Not going to go through them all. I think I had it on cube. Then we have display. Change the backlight. Change the brightness and the time it goes out. Power saving. Idle time. Sleep time. Date and time. I think that's correct. Yeah, it's pretty close. Language, English, I'm keeping it. Every time you connect this to an AV out device, you have to go in here and select NTSC or PAL. Kind of annoying, but whatever. Advanced, player information. You can set the font, well, supposedly. You can format the memories, reset to default settings, check system. What does that do? May require a few minutes. No, we don't got a few minutes. Who knows what that does? And that's about it in the settings. And browser, unfortunately, as you would expect, and as you can tell by the icon, it's just a file browser, no internet on this thing. We can go through the internal memory, the card memory, games, music, pictures, and so on. Then in Tool, there's also more than just one. We have a calculator. We have a calendar that surprisingly keeps to the date that you set in the settings. A stopwatch, kind of an ugly interface, but it works. Recorder, you can record your voice. I'm sure it sounds amazing. And library is a notes app, I guess. Now reading. Okay then, it's lyrics to a song. I did not put that on there. Going on over, we also have recorder again, for whatever reason. And we have the camera. Let's save that for later. Cinema.
Traditional way to build a gaming machine. You got your monitor, you got your gaming tower.
And I put Linus Tech Tips on here.
Not today. So colorful of all
people hate him now, I guess. Trying to put videos on this thing is a pain. It hardly accepts any format, and you have to go through a bunch of conversion processes for it to even work. Most of the time, it will just show invalid format, which is insanely frustrating. So let's go into the music. All music. Again, more iOS stuff stolen. Oh, it's Music Hall. Interesting. And that was the preloaded song on there, and I'm pretty sure that's the same song that those were the lyrics to. But I have a much better song we can try. I'm going to need to find a different song to start testing, because I want to avoid copyright. Yep, it crackles a bit when you turn it up. But I guess if you were to plug it into a pair of headphones, or a pair of headphones you plug into this, or plug it into your TV and play it through your TV speakers, that would work, I guess. And now we have what this was made for, games. Now, before I continue, I'm going to say I am not an expert at any game, but I'm going to just do a little bit of testing. I'm not going to sit and have full gameplay here, but we're just going to get an idea of how games run on here and what games it can run. So let's get started. Now, when I watched the other videos of these, I never understood classic game and games on demand, but what I found out is classic game is the games that are preloaded on the 4 GB memory, and games on demand is your micro SD card. So if we go through classic games, you can see some of the games that are on here. You have to wait a little bit. And I recognize some of these, but most of them I do not. I'll just kind of go through them a bit. There's a lot on here. So the games I put on here, the original Mario, because the one on here is the wrong ROM. It's from a different region and it plays too fast on here. But you can go down and see some of the games I put on here. So let's go into Super Mario Advance 2. And you can restart and save and load your progress. There's only one save state in here, but it's kind of nice to have. And then under option, there's more than one option. Sound output, opened, closed, I guess just on and off. Keyboard mapping is this, but it's you can't really change anything. It's basically just telling you what's what, which doesn't make any sense. And display mode. So there's full screen, scaled, and original from what I've usually seen. But when I went into mine, it's full screen, normal, full screen, normal. And yeah, there's no scaled. So you either play it stretched or in a little tiny box. I don't know why mine doesn't have it, and it's kind of frustrating. But I've been playing it on full screen, and I've been getting used to it stretched. It hasn't been that bad. You don't even notice it all that much until you like compare it against like how the game is supposed to look. So yeah, let's just go to restart. Then here's where you can go and save your game, but I'm not going to save it. But I can load my progress. You can see where I got to. And yeah, it runs it okay. It's obviously not great, but it is playable. You can get a somewhat enjoyable experience playing that. So let's go back up and play the original Mario for the NES. And it runs that pretty good, but you can hear some of the sounds are kind of like cut off, and that can kind of be annoying for some games, but others, you don't even notice it. Okay, now I'm going to show you Sonic from the Sega Genesis, and this one I'm going to capture with my capture card to give you an idea what the AV out is. It's usually not as squished as it may seem. And yeah, you can start to see the reasons why you should not buy this. The AV out is really bad, and the Sega Genesis emulation is also really bad, but that's not where it stops. The front is made out of plastic, worse than the original Game Boy's screen plastic. It gets scratched very easily, and if there's any pressure going like this to the screen or any tapping, the whole screen shifts up, the LCD inside. So once in a while you have to go like that, which is just stupid. And when you listen to the speaker, you can hear a bit of a humming sound. It might not come through very good on camera, but in person it gets very irritating, as well as a popping noise whenever there's something moving on the screen. I don't know, maybe it's soldered to the wrong location. I'd love to open this up and show you the inside and see what's the processor and stuff. But because it's so tiny, I cannot find any screwdriver that'll fit in there and remove those screws. It's really annoying. So let's see if you can hear this when I shut it off. Yeah, what the heck is that? Is this a hazard? Will this start on fire? Is something shorting out in there? I don't know what's going on with this. So definitely spend the money. I know PSPs are insane, but you should definitely spend the money and buy a PSP instead, because this is just not worth $30. I know $30 isn't like $150 like what PSPs cost, but believe me, you're getting much more of a console. Just find a good tutorial and don't brick yours like mine. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this look at this horrible PSP clone. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. Hey guys, it's the Computer Experience channel here, reviewing my USB drive. As you can see, it can go out and back in, and go out and back in. And you can see there's a piece of tape on here, and that's so I know this is the one I use to transfer files to my iMac G3.